Hi guys, let's kickstart the video by studying about ratios. First thing first, ratio is used to compare two numbers. For example, there are two boys, Raju and Pappu. Raju has 5 balls and Pappu has 3 balls. Raju said, let's calculate the ratio of balls I have to the number of balls you have. Left part of the ratio 5 here is called antecedent and right part 3 is called consequent. Now certain characteristics about ratio. First is, if you multiply antecedent and consequent both with a certain number, the ratio remains same. Similarly, second point, if we divide antecedent and consequent both with a certain number, the ratio remains same. Third and the last point, used to compare same kind of things, money with money, ball with ball. Now let's talk about proportion. It is used when we have two equal ratios. Let's take Raju and Pappu's example and assume that they have balls in the ratio of 2:1. Similarly, consider the money they have is $4 and $2 respectively, which is equivalent to 2:1. Now proportion can be used. The ratio of balls is to ratio of money. 2:1 is to 4:2. Here A and D are called extremes, B and C are called middle terms. Because of proportion, A by B is equal to C by D and hence AD is equal to BC. Let's move to the questions now. First question, divide 800 rupees in the ratio 5:3. Take an example of pizza. If you have to divide it in the ratio of 5:3 for Raju and Pappu, what do? Is calculate 5 plus 3 is equal to 8 and cut it into 8 pieces. Give 5 pieces to one person and 3 pieces to another. Similarly, for the question given, you calculate 5 plus 3 is equal to 8, divide 800 by 8, multiply the amount you get now by 5 on one hand and multiply the same amount with 3 on another. Next question, two numbers are more than the third number by 20% and 80% respectively. Find the ratio of those two numbers. Let's say the three numbers are A, B and C. Assume C to be X. A and B will be 20 and 80% more respectively than C. A will be X plus 20% more than X. B will be X plus 80% of X. As a resultant, A will be 1.2x and B will be 1.8x. Okay. And now, when we compare the ratio A and B, what we get is 1.2x upon 1.8x, 12 upon 18, 2:3. So the final ratio will be 2:3. Third question, A is to B is equal to 1:2, B is to C is equal to 3:2, C is to D is equal to 4:1. Find A is to B is to C is to D. Let's start by finding A is to B is to C. And to find A is to B is to C, we need to merge A is to B and B is to C. And to merge A is to B and B is to C, B in both the cases should be the same. And as we read, if we multiply the antecedent and consequent by a same number, the ratio remains same. So in this case, we'll multiply A is to B by 3 and B is to C by 2. Now we have A is to B is to C as 3 is to 6 is to 4 and CD is 4:1. In these two ratios, C is common and its value is same. So now the final answer for us will be 3 is to 6 is to 4 is to 1. Question 4. Amul and Paras milk have ratio of milk to water as 7:2 and 11:7 respectively. Both of these are mixed in equal quantity. Find the ratio of milk is to water. We start by summing the antecedent and consequent of that ratio. 7 plus 2 and 11 plus 7. We get 9 and 18. These two sums, we find the LCM of these two sums, okay? 9 and 18. Whatever the LCM we get, in this case we have LCM as 18. And now what we do is we divide the LCM 18 by the sums we have 9 and 18. In return, what we get is 2 and 1. Now we multiply the ratios with these two numbers respectively. And then we add the antecedents of both the ratios and consequence of both the ratios to find the final antecedents and final consequence of the ratio. People, this was it. Watch the next part of this video to solve exactly these questions in less than 30 seconds. Till then, be good, do good.